the guitar tutorial for La Fine by Maneskin. My name is Billy and welcome to Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck in. There is a guitar riff that happens on the introduction and through a lot of the verse. So what we're going to do is play octaves. If you know what an octave shape is, we're going to start on fret 5 on the E string and then make the octave shape there. If you don't, we need the little finger or maybe the ring finger on fret 7 on the D string. And we're going back and forth. And then we've got a bend on this 5. And they do it a few times. So we've got this da-la-la-lum, and then it resolves down to fret 3. So we've got. But after the bends on the 5, you play 5 again. You hear that? And then it goes down to 3. And they loop round that for the full introduction. It's 4 times round, but on the 4th time round they have this rundown. On the E string it goes from 8, 7, 6, 5. Introduction and the full verse would sound like this. So the second half of the verse, there is a very similar pattern, but what happens is they move everything down a string. So the pattern that you just played at the first half of the verse goes down to the A string and the G string. So exactly the same. And then they have that rundown that you saw earlier. So for the full verse, we have this. First time we're on the riff. Second time. Third time. Fourth time. Then down to the next part. Second time. And then back to the riff. And at that point, everything happens again. So you have 4 times around that first riff, then twice round the A riff, and then twice round the first riff again, and then like I said, that's when it loops round. So that is every verse. So the chorus sounds like this. So we start off on the A string with fret 5, we play that 3 times, followed by the B string, which is the fret 6 on the B string, but what we're going to do is play, it seems like they alternate a little bit between, with that rhythm, and, so it's a very subtle difference. That happens 3 times, and then we go to the E string for this riff. It's a bit of a chromatic descend. All I mean by that is it's going down a fret at a time. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then back up to 1. So we've got an interesting rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. So just once more for the for the chorus. And that happens another time, so 2 times all together. And there's the chorus. So just before I show you the next part of the song, I just want to say thank you to the people on the screen. Those are my patrons who show their support every month. They get early access to my videos. They also get PDFs and tabs of a lot of the songs that I make tutorials for here on YouTube. So if you are interested in joining, just head on over to Patreon. There's a link in the description. Thanks a lot. Let's get stuck back in. Just before the second verse and straight after the chorus, there is a small link which takes the main riff, and then we've got this part on the E string which goes, so they're just double up notes that we've played during the introduction and the verse. So it would sound like this. So it goes round like that a couple of times. After that, there's another verse which is exactly the same as the first, and then there is a chorus, and then we get to the bridge. So, during the breakdown of the song, there is a bass guitar part, and then afterwards there's a guitar part that loops around a few times, which sounds like this. Now, I'm playing that. You can play that in a few ways, but I'm playing it on the G string with a 10 and a 7, should I say? So then there's a 5, 6, 7 at the end. And they loop around that quite a few times before it goes to a chorus where you go back to. So near the end of the song there is a bit of an outro where there's some stabs, some musical stabs, and then a guitar part. So the stab part is just basically fret 5, and then you've got, which is on the G string fret 7 to 10. And then it goes back to the stabs, and then we've got, which is fret 5 on the D string, 3 on the D string, and 5 on the A string. It then goes back to the stabs. And we have that part again, and then a bit of a pentatonic run of sorts. On the E string you've got 10, 8, then 10 on the 8 on the B string, and then you've got a 7 on the G string. That then loops round. Then on the next part, they basically play the same thing, but instead of playing, they move that up the octave. But then they alternate with. So this is a bit of a rundown to alternate with. So on the E string you've got 15 to 13, 15 to 13 on the B string, and then there's a 15 to 12 on the G string. They alternate between the first part and then and those sets of notes to end the song with, along with the stabs. And there we go, that's the new song by Maneskin. So, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, if you want to be part of the Patreon page, then head on over, you get early access and a load of free content. So, thank you very much for that. I shall see you in the next video.